Business Value Podcast. This podcast is brought to you by Mastery Partners, where our mission is to equip business owners to maximize business value so they can transition their business on their terms. Our mission was born from the lessons we've learned from over 100 business transactions, which fuels our desire to share our experiences and wisdom so you can succeed. Now here's your host, CEO of Mastery Partners, Tom Bronson.
Hi again, it's Tom Bronson, and welcome to the Maximize Business Value Podcast. We're a podcast for business owners who are passionate about building long-term sustainable value in your business. Now, every business on the planet will eventually transition. Even the biggest businesses out there, they will eventually transition. Wouldn't it be better in your small business to transition your business by design rather than by default? If something terrible happens, make sure that you're planning far in advance. And so if you're a business owner who does some of that planning and wants to think about how to maximize the value of your business long before it's time to transition, you found the right place. This episode is part of our series from my latest book, Maximize Business Value Playbook, 65 specific actions to dramatically increase the value of your business. Today, we're on chapter 5. It's all about the cash flow. So understanding the future cash position of your business is critical to any business. Getting the financial statements by the 15th is important, but there's a big difference between your financial statements and your cash flow projection. It's kind of like the difference between accounting and finance. My great friend, Craig Beck, who's been on our podcast and written for our blogs, says it this way: accounting is about the past. Finance is about the future. And that's how we think about financial statements versus cash projections and cash flow projections. Financial statements tell the story of what happened. They're a history book. Cash projections are what will happen in the future. By the way, the vast majority, or the number one reason why small businesses go out of business, is they run out of cash. So make sure you understand your cash flow. And so now I also know that it's a little confusing, right? I said, financial statements are about the past, cash flow is about the future. I know it can be a little bit confusing, so let me elaborate a little bit. A solid financial statement should include a statement of cash flows that tells how the business used the cash in the prior period. A cash flow projection looks at projected inflows and outflows of cash to predict the cash position far into the future. Now, I like to project cash 3 years out into the future. I know that sounds ridiculous, but for most businesses, starting with a 90-day cash flow and growing, to a year will provide much more information than is currently available through just the financial statements, the balance sheet and P&L that most people look at. The further you look in your business, the better off you're going to be. Using a cash projection can predict a future cash crisis long before it comes up. It can forecast when to use your line of credit and when you need to raise capital. Most importantly, it can keep a business owner from complacency. Sometimes it appears that the picture is rosy when in fact, the business is headed for a brick wall. As I said a minute ago, the number one reason most businesses fail is running out of cash. It's the lifeblood. And unfortunately, a cash crisis can sneak up on any business owner who's not paying close attention to the detail. So developing a cash projection might be a little bit tricky. So be sure to involve some outside help. Get an accounting firm or hire a professional to create one for your business. My Maximize Business Value recommended actions this week. Number 1, develop a solid cash projection. Number 2, hire a professional to help create a cash projection if you don't know how to do it. Or number 3, download the free cash projection tool right on the free stuff section on our website. Go to masterypartners.com, click on the free stuff, and you can find it there. This is the Maximize Business Value podcast, where we give practical advice to business owners on how to build long-term sustainable value in your business. If this is the first time you've listened to this podcast, I promise you there's more than 160 more episodes sitting out there just waiting for you to download them. Why don't you go do that today? So until next time, I'm Tom Bronson, reminding you to pick one thing, just one thing, to dramatically improve the value of your business today. Maybe think about developing a cash flow statement. Go do it while you maximize business value.
Thank you for tuning into the Maximize Business Value podcast with Tom Bronson. This podcast is brought to you by Mastery Partners, where our mission is to equip business owners to maximize business value so they can transition on their terms. Learn more on how to build long-term sustainable business value and get free value-building tools by visiting our website, www.masterypartners.com. That's master with a Y, masterypartners.com. Check it out.
That was perfect. I wouldn't make any changes on that.